text-to-voice synthesis provided by Vidnami. Smoke and Mirrors. January 12, 2021 by Anna von Reitz. We've all heard the expression, smoke and mirrors, and I trust everyone has a grasp on what we mean by that. We are talking about magician tricks, ways to obscure what is real versus unreal, means to distract in order to deceive and to create illusions. Now, more than ever, it is important to keep mentally and emotionally buttoned down and our Shinola sensors on high. Think back to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Didn't those movies seem real within the context of their drama, even though in some corner of your brain you are perfectly aware that Wookies and Hobbits don't exist? With all the technology now available, it's easy to not only create what doesn't exist, but to misrepresent what does exist. It's easy to create photographic and sound images of actual people doing and saying things that they never said and never did. Voice capture technology can synthesize what sounds like your voice saying any number of things you never said. Visual capture technology can take photographic images of you and have you apparently doing handsprings, or whatever else the video techs want you to do. All the folks in Hollywood have worked themselves out of a job. With voice and video capture they can have a young Goldie Hawn doing whatever they like on film. The actress is rendered superfluous. She doesn't have to be present or know a thing about what her image is doing or saying on film. Via this technology, they can resurrect the dead. John Wayne can star in a dozen new westerns and Red Skelton and John Belushi can do endless new comedy routines. Of course, it won't be their creative genius saying, "Wait a minute, Pilgrim," or presenting a new comedic character. It will be an image of their image, manipulated by videographers and sound technicians working behind the scenes, deciding what John Wayne says and does next. They can apply the same technology to anyone. Just get enough film of the subject, meandering about in their daily lives, and record enough material of their voices, and the video wizards can make it appear that you, Joe Plunkett, neighborhood HVAC technician, stood on top of the Great Pyramid at Giza and stripped naked to the stars. We are bringing this forward to create public awareness of this technology, its uses and potential abuses. In the Middle Ages people were warned not to believe everything they heard, and Edgar Allan Poe is credited with the modern version, "Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see," but now, Hollywood forces us to take it a step beyond that. Don't unquestioningly believe anything you see or hear. The video wizards can and do make convincing 3D images that appear to be actual people. The world recently saw an example of this with the now famous disappearance of Pope Francis. One moment he appeared to be speaking to the crowd, then the 3D hologram disappeared, right on camera. The data feed was interrupted. If they can create a convincing Pope to address a crowd of people in Rome, they can create any number of less savory images and actions, too. Photographic evidence is no longer to be taken as binding truth. It may in fact be art, or parody, or visual false witness of a most damning kind. And all without the necessity of any participation by the living man or woman being pictured, or framed. It opens up a whole new realm of blackmail possibilities, without the necessity of convincing the subject to do anything wrong. All that is needed is a sufficiently sophisticated video and sound production facility, and you can have Vladimir Putin raping little boys, or whatever other horrendous things that twisted minds and hearts can visualize. There are, of course, ways to deconstruct such productions and identify what is real and what is fake, but that requires skills and equipment far beyond the capability of the naked eye. To us, these concocted images appear as real as Chewbacca. The same technology can be used to simulate miraculous appearances. You could be visited by saints or the Virgin Mary or Jesus just as easily as you could be visited by Master Yoda or Godzilla or Baphomet. If you are unaware that this technology exists, you would probably unquestioningly accept the reality of your direct experience, wouldn't you? You saw it and heard it, right? So spread the word and be aware. It's time to realize how very limited and how easily manipulated our sensory array really is. And turn your Shinola sensors on high.